Hello everyone! I've covered the story within Val'sharah, where we obtained the Tear of Elune and we took on Xavius the Nightmare Lord, but this zone holds another story that is pretty important to know about for things to come. Before we dive into what happens in the zone, first a bit of background information so that you know what we're talking about. During the War of the Ancients, the Night Elves figured that their Queen Azara and the Highborn, they were up to no good and they were trying to summon the Legion into the world. A resistance was formed, first led by Courtelas Ravencrest, and he was the master of Blackrook Hold. The elven structure, carved from the greatest mountain of Val'sharah by ancient elven masons, stood as a bulwark against the burning Legion. He did such a good job at fighting the Legion that he became their prime target. Varofen sent an assassin named Callorn Nightblade to take out Ravencrest, and with his death, Lord Destal Stareye took over. Born from nobility, he was quite an idiot, stuffing his nose with herbs all the time, and he died quickly to the demonic forces. His passing led to Jarod Shadowsong picking up the mantle of leadership, and he successfully led the resistance, even held his ground against Archimonde. While Malfurion, Stormrage, and several others, they saved the day by reversing the portal, sending the demons back to where they came from, and preventing Sargeras from entering the world.
No! This victory will not be ripped from my grasp. I will not return to him in failure. I will not be torn from this pitiful world. No!
Maiev Shadowsong, Jarod's sister, she was a priestess of Elune during the war, and she was quite impressed with her brother. When Illidan was imprisoned for creating a new well, she volunteered to become his guard and formed the organization known as the Watchers, with her as their leader. Jarod, despite his big role as their leader, he left his people behind. Malfurion resumed his studies of druidism, while Tyrande Whisperwind, she would lead their people. Many years later, during Warcraft 3, Tyrande decided that it would be a good idea to let Illidan out of his prison, since she believed that they needed his help against the Legion. Maiev couldn't exactly appreciate that. She did everything in her power to put Illidan back into his cage, but instead, she was the one who ended up imprisoned. Thankfully, no real torture took place in that time, besides the broken pissing in her food and throwing insults her way, but fast forward to the Burning Crusade and we find her teaming up with Akama and heroes of the Elisana Horde to take down the betrayer. Her long hunt for Illidan was finally finished. She returned home to resume leadership and train more of the Watchers, but in the novel Wolfheart, we found out that time did leave some serious scars upon Maiev. After years spending his days with his wife away from their people, her brother Jarod Shadowsong also returned, while Malfurion and Tyrande, they decided it would be a good idea to let magic and the Highborn back into their society. Maiev had spent a lifetime guarding Illidan to prevent something like the War of the Ancients from happening again, and now the leaders of their people, they are welcoming those that abused magic back into their society. As you might imagine, this did not sit too well with her. She made plans to execute the Highborn as well as Malfurion, but thanks to Jarod, those plans eventually failed. In the end of the tale, he confronted his sister, but he couldn't bring himself to take her life. Maiev left the scene, while Jarod took up leadership of the Wardens. You might remember questing with him during the Cataclysm, and that was the last that we heard of Maiev until the expansion Legion. Many fans have speculated over the years on what she might do when she would come back. Would she lead an army to take vengeance upon the Night Elves? Would she bring her wrath down upon the Alliance? Turns out, none of that, and instead we get a little bit of a retcon. The events of Wolfheart did take place, but the Maiev that we saw there is completely different from the Maiev that we see in Legion. Now, very much like Tyrande has done in the past, she decides to let the demon hunters out of their prison and recruit their aid against the Legion. Gul'dan and Gul'dan are assaulting the vault of the Wardens since they want Illidan's body for some reason, and Maiev quickly goes after them.
Illidan's Stormrage. At last, I meet the great betrayer.
So he is the key to Azeroth's downfall.
Soon. The body is cold, but his soul is not done fighting. We have work to do before he is ready.
Hurry then. The Wardens are coming with the Illidari in tow.
Ooh, they are desperate. Illidan, now you belong to the Legion.
Cordana! You will answer to the High Council for this!
Judge me all you like, sister, but you cannot stop us.
You are too late, Warden. This vault will be your tomb.
Demon hunters, you have to survive. Find the one named Archmage Khadgar. You can trust him. Illidan is still my charge!
For some time, she's missing, and we don't really know what happened to her, which leads into the story of Val'sharah, where her brother Jarod has shown up in search of his sister.
I am not your enemy, Mayor. I came here to find someone within Black Rook Hold.
Bradensbrook is a village full of Gilneans, but these Gilneans left their city behind fleeing from the Scourge, so the whole Worgen curse is not a thing for them. That's not to say that they don't have problems to deal with, since undead creatures have risen from the fortress to the north, the fortress known as Black Rook Hold. They will defend this village to the bitter end, and they don't like strangers wandering around in their land. Novices will often resort to force in situations like these, but Jarod knows that persuasion is a master's weapon, so he wants us to help them out and convince them that we're not the enemy.
Despite what they say, these people need help. Defend their farms and we will ease their suspicions.
Some very old friends of Jarod's, friends who are no longer amongst the living, they're the ones attacking their village, so we're told to kill a few of them, while we also meet up with Granny Marl, probably one of my favorites. Once known as Mean Marlene, she could shoot the head of a nail at 100 paces, but her eyesight, it's gone downhill. By lighting up her targets with a little flare, she is able to scatter the ravenous birds who are spreading their filth and eating her crops. Speaking of crops, we also help her collect the summer's corn harvest before the Night of Raiders can destroy it.
Somebody order a bullseye.
At Redcliffe Landing, the fishing dock, we find Cecile Redcliffe kneeling beside the corpse of her dearly beloved Papa. Papa always said that the only way he would leave here would be feet first. She wished he had been wrong, but at least we can avenge him by killing his murderer, a monstrous falcon called Rubbeak. The final area to check out is Mayor Heathro's house, which isn't doing so well. It's kinda on fire, and in the basement, young Penelope, daughter of Mayor Heathrow, she's about to get eaten by a risen hound.
Thank you. I was so scared all by myself, but I know a shortcut back to town.
One more bit of heroism awaits to be done here, since through the loud crashing sounds, the heat of flames assaulting our senses, we hear the faintest of whimpers coming from upstairs. Poor old Grumpy got caught by the flames, no real quest marker to indicate that he's actually there. Forgotten by so many adventurers, please go save your Grumpy today if you haven't done it yet. He will definitely appreciate it.
Papa, I'm home! The hero saved me!
Penelope! Thank goodness you're all right. I was so worried. Lord Shadowsong, I was wrong about you. Everyone, put down your arms. Thank you for finding my daughter. Please, you are most welcome here.
They might have a lot of rebuilding to do, but at least the situation is under control now, and Jarod can continue his quest of tracking down Maiev. After she disappeared, her sisters amongst the Wardens, they've been searching far and wide for her whereabouts. With so few Wardens remaining, he volunteered to join the search. Now hopefully we'll find a sign of her within Black Rook Hold. The fortress will be well guarded and it will need our help to break through.
It is just as I feared. Lord Ravencrest's remains are gone.
At the mausoleum, we discover that Lord Ravencrest's remains have been taken. The disturbed tomb, demons here at Black Rook Hold, and the enemy Night Elves, they're no coincidence. The Legion has resurrected Lord Ravencrest, but why? Jarod fears that they brought him back to do their bidding, but from the dungeon journal, we learn that it's even worse. Gul'dan's foul soul magic has awoken Ravencrest's soul, and those of his ancestors from their eternal repose. The Legion, seeking revenge, gleefully forced his soul into his body and mesmerized him, forcing him to eternally relive the horrors of the War of the Ancients.
Lord Ravencrest died long ago, but I will always revere him as my mentor. When the ancient war began, we suffered countless losses. Our cities burned. Lord Ravencrest saved our people and rescued our world from annihilation. His loss was tragic for us all. We owe him everything.
While standing here, we can also ask Jarod more about the history between him and his sister. He explains that they both chose very different paths in life. She dedicated her life to the pursuit of justice, and he even acknowledges the events of Wolfheart. She murdered innocents, hoping to sever our people's ties with the Alliance. Still, I couldn't bring myself to kill her. At first I thought I'd been weak, that love had left me unable to do what was necessary. I know my sister. She'd never commit such crimes unless she was under some foul influence. Even so, rather than investigate fully, I simply assumed the worst. I've been a poor brother, but there's still time for me to make things right. So instead of Maiev turning against Malfurion and Tyrande for good reason, since just imagine spending your life trying to guard Illidan and keep your people safe, only to see your leaders welcome it back in, instead of having motivation, Jarod believes that some foul sinister force took hold of his sister and that she would never strike out on her own. It is what it is, but we'll still need to find the Warden, while also taking care of the risen spirits. There's a large area to search, so we split up. Jarod will check the upper ramparts, while we check the prison cages, the forge and the guard tower for any signs of Maiev. While doing that, we also put the risen former officers of Ravencrest to rest.
This one met a grisly end. No sign of Maiev here.
Lieutenant Stareye commands, death to all intruders! Forgive me, Lord Ravencrest. I failed you.
Despite our attempts to extract information, the Warden remains stubbornly resistant. Could they be talking about Maiev?
We have secured the walls, demon. You will not escape here alive. I must alert the others.
That's Maiev's weapon. She was here.
I underestimated your strength.
There is no doubt that they've already moved Maiev into the prison cells beneath the tower.
The lieutenant has ordered
I
your
will take out the
execution.
guards inside the prison. Get those keys and meet me within the cells.
We did not come this far to lose her in the final moments, so we defeat Jailer Araxes, we take his keys and we jump down into the prison area where Illidan is bleeding from several ghastly wounds.
I almost made it out.
They were taken by surprise while scouting the area. Arduin knows that he's not long for this world, but perhaps we can still save his comrades.
I will stay to ease this prisoner's passing. It won't be long now. Go ahead and find Maiev.
The only one of the Illidan that we're actually able to save is Asher Ravensong, who explains that they were in pursuit of a dangerous Dreadlord. Unfortunately, he lured them right into a trap, and the resurrected forces of Blackrook Hold, they've not exactly been kind to them. Castile Nightthorn is found nearly unrecognizable, tortured, and then died from the wounds, while Sirius Ebonwing, he's having a little bit of trouble keeping the Fel under control.
Blood. It burns. The fell energy. I can't control it. Ah! The demons control Blackrook Hold. You must stop them.
The only one left to find is Maiev herself, and we do. Face bruised, lips cracked, and her body covered in scars. She looks thin and ragged, but she moves with purpose. For weeks they tried to break her. Amateurs. She kept her silence, counted the minutes, measured her steps, and listened to the voices beyond her cell. She has been waiting for a chance to escape and strike back at her captors.
You have brought my armor and glaive. Thank you, hero. I did not expect salvation from this place. Where is my brother? My vigil continues. Little brother, you came for me, even after I tried to—
Never mind that. I heard what happened in the vault of the Wardens. Luckily, my hair can't get any grayer. Why did you have to chase after Gul'dan alone? Oh, thank Elune you're still alive.
Well said, brother. We have bigger concerns. Let's go. Stareye has much to answer for. This bastard leads the guards in this prison. He must pay for his crimes.
Lord Ravencrest's army will purge this land of all you invaders.
You always did think too highly of yourself. Another foolish death then, if you insist.
How dare you attack a Kaldorei noble? You will beg for mercy, which I will not give!
Begging's never been one of my talents, Stareye. You should know that by now.
Lord Ravencrest himself gave me this post. I won't surrender it to you demons!
Ravencrest. Impossible. And we're not demons. Don't you recognize me?
It's useless, brother. Like the other undead, he cannot see us for who we are.
Lord Ravencrest cannot be stopped. We will prevail.
What a tragic waste. Even in death, he only wanted to protect our people.
Over here! This sewer will take us back outside. We should go before our enemies regroup.
Outside, we meet up with Asha Ravensong again, who had learned one thing during her time in that prison. The demons within Blackrook Hold must die.
Back to your duty.
I refuse to believe it. Lord Ravencrest cannot be working with Gul'dan.
Champion, return to your other duties for now. Soon we will face Lord Ravencrest himself.
So into Blackrook Hold we go, the stronghold that held out against the Legion for so very long, but now finally succumbed to the demon's influence. Besides revenge on Ravencrest, there is another reason why Gul'dan came to Blackrook Hold, and that is described within the very first boss that we encounter, the Amnennon of Souls. Immense soul energy was released when Gul'dan conducted the ritual to sever Illidan's soul from his body at Blackrook Hold. This energy brought the souls of the Ravencrest clan back to their ancestral home, and residual soul energy has merged them into a massive monstrosity.
Consume! Devour!
So why exactly sever Illidan's soul from his body? We know that his spirit is still in the Twisted Nether, so does the Legion fear that he will make a return? Or did they need to make some room in the body for something else to get into it? Only time will tell, but I can't wait to find out.
Now I see.
The darkness. It is gone.
You aren't the ones who did this? I understand now. You must find Kurtalos. You must put a stop to this.
The spirits opened the way for us, but not all the resurrected Night Elves have come to their senses yet, and they still try to stop us.
Invaders have breached the passage to the crypts. Elisana, you must hold them here. We have much to lose. Your father's life most of all.
You need not worry. I will not fail, Etosius. Men, the invaders come for us. Do not let them pass. For Kalimdor!
Elisana Ravencrest is probably one of the more interesting characters that we find here, since not only is she the daughter of Lord Ravencrest, the journal also says that she was imprisoned for millennia in the Vault of the Wardens, shortly after the War of the Ancients. I think that they kinda messed up with this, since Elisana can be found with the other demon hunters on Mardoom, and they were not sent there until the Burning Crusade. She found herself free after Maiev released the demon hunters from their prison. Returning to her ancestral home, she has sacrificed everything, including her very soul, to defend what she could not during the War of the Ancients. So you'd think that they simply messed up in the dungeon journal, right? But I think that they actually messed up in-game and forgot that she wasn't supposed to show up with the other demon hunters on Mardoom. There's an achievement in Blackrook Hold called You Used to Scrawl Me in Your Feldtome, for which you'll need to find all 6 entries of Elisana's journal. In these pages, she describes the time of the War of the Ancients. She describes Illidan showing up at Blackrook Hold, becoming Kurtalos' personal sorcerer, leading the Moonguard, and then there is this final entry. What I felt after my father's passing is not for you to know. That pain is mine to keep, mine to use. But I will say that my views changed. My hubris crumbled away. I questioned everything and everyone. I searched for a way to strike back at the Legion, for a weapon to make the demons suffer as much as I had. And in that searching, I realized that Illidan had been right all along. Though he was cold and arrogant, he had been effective. He understood that to defeat the demons, we must make sacrifices. We must forego our fear and apprehension and embrace the unknown. In the wake of my father's death, Illidan disappeared. Rumors spread concerning his whereabouts. Some elves even claimed that he had died. Others said that he had abandoned the resistance and joined the demons. Do not believe these lies. Illidan is still on our side. He is working from the shadows to uncover the Legion's weaknesses. No matter how questionable his methods may be, they are necessary. I go now to find him, to walk in his footsteps and learn what I can about our enemy. Where this path will lead, I do not know, but I will do whatever I must to avenge my father and save a race from extinction. If you wish to do the same, come and find me. So it seems that after her father died, she went on a search for Illidan and she became a weapon against the Legion. A demon hunter trained by Illidan before the whole Illidari thing. She's an OG hunter, imprisoned after the War of the Ancients and only defrosted with the Regent Legion invasion. Either that, or she was never able to find Illidan and the dungeon journal is simply wrong. That could also be a thing, but I like the idea of demon hunters existing before Illidan trained them on Outlands a whole lot better. Either way, she believes that she's fighting to protect her father, she's been turned Felsworn, and sadly has to be brought down.
Betrayed.
Up the stairs we go, avoiding the massive rolling stones tossed down by the demons. We even slay some of them and some Felbats until we find Smashbite the Hateful.
I will paint this keep with your blood.
A brutal, imposing Monarch Lieutenant, Smashbite the Hateful led the Legion invasion of Blackrook Hold and commanded the defense of the keep from the air via his colony of Felbats.
But I can't.
Guards, hold them off. We must prepare.
That means that there's only one more battle ahead of us, the one with Kurtalas and Latosius, who in life led the Moonguard during the war until he was slain and Illidan took his place.
Kurtalos, they come for you.
They do. Together we shall defeat them, Latosius. Fiends! You shall never have our world! I shall cleave you in twain!
We try to smack some sense into Ravencrest, while his advisor Latosius, he teleports around the area, attacking us with dark magic.
Enough! I tire of this. Ravencrest, you worthless husk. 10,000 years have not been kind.
Now you.
No. No. What am I? This is not my ancestors. Elisana. No. Forgive me. Heroes, you must defeat him.
You expect these worthless mortals to defy the Legion?
Souls of my ancestors, to me! Aid our champions!
It was actually the Dreadlord, then Talionax, the same Dreadlord that Asha and her crew were trying to hunt down, that's pulling the strings.
You cannot comprehend that which you face, mortals!
Ravencrest sees reason and calls upon the spirits of his ancestors to aid us in this battle. With the might of the Ravencrest clan at our side, we're able to overcome the Nafrezim and we cleanse the hold of the Legion's foul presence.
We are Legion.
Now, I was actually hoping to see a lot more of Jarod and Maiev in the dungeon, but apparently they're too busy with other things, so hopefully they'll show up again later on in the story. It's also a bit disappointing to see that they've retconned a bit of Maiev's character development, but I suppose in a story where Illidan makes a return, it's nice to have his Warden there as well. Time will tell what the Legion's actually going to do with Illidan's body. I can't wait for the Suruma raid to open up, but for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I really hope that you enjoyed this story. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time, guys, see ya!